Rainbow Warrior here, and today I'm going to show you how to crochet a slouchy beanie. I am using the half double crochet stitch for the main look of my hat. This pattern is very simple and available to all levels of crochet, and as always be sure to adjust the pattern to get the look and size beanie that you need. For materials, you're going to need a yarn of your choosing. I am using a medium worsted weight yarn, Red Heart Super Saver in the color tea leaf. For my crochet hook, I'm using a US size I hook, and you're going to need a stitch marker. I'm just using another color strand of yarn. To begin crocheting in the round, we're going to start with an adjustable loop. I like to loop my yarn in my palm like so, and gently tug up on that center yarn there, and chain one to secure. If you've never done an adjustable loop or do not feel comfortable with this step, then please feel free to chain 4 and slip stitch to join in order to start crocheting in the round. Now we're going to yarn over and reach right into our loop and begin our half double crochet. So we pull through a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops. This is the stitch we're going to be doing for the entire hat, and I'm going to begin by placing 12 half double crochet stitches right into my adjustable loop. Once you have your 12 half double crochets, we're going to slip stitch to join round 1. So yarning over and pulling through all of our loops, and round 1 is complete. For round 2, we're going to be placing 2 half double crochets in each stitch all the way around. There's the first half double crochet and placing a second half double crochet into that same stitch. And as I do this second round, I lock my tail in so I don't have to sew it in at the end. If you would like to do this as well, place your tail close to your stitches, and this way when you go through each loop, your tail will be locked into your work. At the end of this round, we should have 24 half double crochet stitches. Time to start round 3, and I like to work in a continual round. This way there is no seam on our hat, and it's very important that you use a stitch marker for a continual round so that you can tell where your rounds end and begin. So for this third round, we're going to place 2 half double crochets in our first stitch and 1 half double crochet in our next stitch. Repeating this all the way around. So 2 in our next stitch and then 1 in the next. At the end of round 3, we will have 36 half double crochet stitches. Your stitch marker helps keep track that you have the right count of stitches. I'm simply going to loop over my yarn to keep track of the end of this round. For round 4, we're going to place 2 half double crochets in our first stitch, and then 1 in the next, and 1 in the next. Repeating this all the way around. At the end of round 4, we'll have 48 half double crochet stitches. Round 5, there's my last stitch from my previous round, so I'm going to loop my stitch marker over and mark the last stitch here. For round 5, place 2 half double crochets in the first stitch. There's 1 and 2. And now we'll be placing 1 half double crochet in the next 3 stitches. So there was our first, 1 in the next, and 1 in the next. And repeat this all the way around. At the end of round 5, there will be a total of 60 stitches. And this is going to be my last round of increase. If you would like to create a more slouchy beanie, like a beret style hat, then you can work another round of increase. And if you take notice to our pattern, your next round of increase would be 2 half double crochet in the first stitch and 1 half double crochet in the next 4 stitches. Now that you've finished increasing, for the following rounds we're simply going to be placing 1 half double crochet in each stitch, and we're going to be going through the front loop only, so the loop closest to us. This is going to make our hat much more flexible and lay much nicer, especially if you're working with stiff yarn. Keep crocheting and be sure to continue using your stitch marker to keep track of your number of rounds. And here you can see the shape of my hat, which is nice and loose. And here you can see a close-up going through the front loop only of our stitches, which I'm going to continue doing for all of our rounds until we hit our decrease round. How many rounds you crochet is going to depend on the style of beanie you're going for and the size of your head. It's all preference really, and the more rounds that you crochet, the more oversized and slouchy your beanie will become. I decided to continue crocheting until round 17. Once you're satisfied with the length of your hat, it's time to do our decrease round so that our hat will fit nice and snug on our head. We're going to half double crochet 2 together, and this is what that looks like. We're going to yarn over and enter our first stitch, front loop only, pull through a loop, and keep all 3 of those loops on our hook, yarn over, enter the next stitch, front loop only, and pull through a loop. Then we yarn over and pull through all 5 of those loops. Now we're going to place a half double crochet in the next 3 stitches. And this is going to help us get back to our 48 stitch count, and that way the bottom of our hat will keep tight on our head and won't fall off as we're wearing it, which is very important. So this decrease round is necessary. We're repeating this all the way around for our decrease round until we reach back to our 48 stitch count. And don't forget, if you worked a few extra increase rounds, that you're going to need to work those extra decrease rounds as well. And our last and final step, once we reach the beginning of our round, is to do a few rounds of single crochet. So just reaching through both loops, yarning over, pulling through a loop, and yarning over and pulling through both loops. And it's really important to do the few rounds of crochet because it creates a nice tight band, again, that keeps this slouchy beanie snug on our head. And going through both loops will help us just get it a little bit tighter and more secure. So I'm going to do 3 rounds of my single crochet, and once I'm done I'm going to slip stitch to join and sew my ends in, and my beanie is complete. Please be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the pattern, and the link to the pattern will be below in the description as always, as well as links to my Facebook and other social media pages so that you can get in touch with me and share pictures of your projects. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already so you won't miss out on future tutorials. So thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video.